Hello again, everyone. Todd Michael Putnam here with D&D Creative Table Designs. And this adventure, I've got a crazy one. This is something I've really wanted to be able to do for a long time, and took a lot of research to find the parts that I thought could roughly fill the role. And this is my attempt at Dwemer Ruins. Dwemer Ruins. What are Dwemer? Well, if you've played the video game Skyrim on any of the 47 different types of consoles that they ported it to, or the PC, you know what Dwemer Ruins are. Dwemer Ruins are the ancient dwarves or whatever who, back in the day, they completely disappeared, supposedly mysteriously, after enslaving the snow elves and turning them blind, and the snow elves eventually turned into Falmer. There's a whole long story to it. There's lots of cool videos that you can learn about that. But the super short version is Skyrim is one of my favorite video games because it's so moddable. And I just love exploring the Dwemer ruins. The Dwemer, or dwarves as it were, they were big into logic and reason, and they didn't worship any of the in the game. It's called Daedra or Aedra. They didn't worship any of them. They preferred reason and logic, and they built these incredible machines to support themselves in their underground civilization, and had automations of all kinds. And it's all based on this, using soul stones and stuff to power them. Really cool stuff. But there's a very specific look to it, a very bronze type look to it. But of course, it's now all ancient by the time you get to the time of Skyrim when you're playing, because the Dwemer have been gone for so long. So whenever you go into the abandoned Dwemer ruins, you either find the snow elves who have since devolved into blinded Falmer, who have these gray motley skin, and are seen very primitive and built these like hive-like colonies, and they have Charis, insect-like creatures, sort of like their guard dogs, or you find the automations that the Dwemer built eons ago that are still running, and are threatened by and attack anything that enters their area most often. Some of them do. Or you find occasionally other in the game NPCs, like other adventuring parties and stuff that are trying to scour the ruins themselves. So, long story short, I love Skyrim, and I wanted to see if I could bring it to life as best as I could. So do some kind of an approximation. And some of the things that are doing a lot of this, of course, is Dwarven Forge. The base tile sets and stuff are Dwarven Forge. But there's also a lot of 3D print stuff that I got offline. For example, the tops of the towers here, these are, I want to say it's from the Skyrim Realms Kickstarter. These are Dwarven houses that I had bronzed up, and then all I did was I can take one of these off here. These are just the round circular tiles, circular corner tiles for Dwarven Forge, and if you just stack them together, talk about pure luck. If you stack them together, even though these things were not designed to work together, the Dwarven houses fit perfectly on top. And so I did have multiple ones here approximating the Dwemer towers that you'll find throughout the Dwemer ruins, because the ruins are always multi-level, and there's always these like soaring towers and stuff that are inside of them. Some of them you can get to and some of them you can't, but it's all very atmospheric. And then they always have these giant machines and stuff that are constantly still working, and there's like steam that's shooting out of them. But you're not really sure what purpose they do. They serve like some kind of a power or something. So I found these 3D print jobs. I don't know where they come from, other than I got them off of eBay and had them bronzed up, and some containers and stuff like that, and bronzed them up. Pipes from Games Workshop, I believe, is where I got these from. They weren't cheap. I remember that one, but I got them bronzed up because there's always these pipes, some broken, some complete, that are out, coming from the walls and the floor and running across the ceiling and stuff of the Dwemer ruins. So I put those in there. I also found some destroyed generators. So I grabbed some of them because there's always some destroyed Dwemer works throughout the ruins. Quite a bit of it, actually. And while some of it's still functioning and operational, others have been destroyed by whatever earthquakes or monsters, whatever the case may be. So just kind of strewn those around there. And those are all things that either were 3D print objects or Games Workshop. I also found for the Falmer, who are these gray mottled type guys. I'm just using these simple gray goblin type minis. They work really good for it. And then I found some 3D print stuff for these hive-like, because they have these really weird looking kind of like barriers that they have set up. So this is like in a close approximation of that. And then I just put some tents in there for now. They do use some kind of strange tents, kind of weird multicolored type tents in the game. I've got something else that's still waiting to get finished for the paint. But in the meantime, I thought I could use these and they would still get the job done. And that gives that feeling pretty good. They often have little fires and stuff set up because of course they hunt skeever, and which are like giant rats, and cook those things up on fires. So I put a couple of fires there. And I found these little bronze, I can't remember, but I think it was on Etsy, these little bronze levers that, there's always levers throughout the game to pull elevators up or down, or to open and close doors and things like that. So I just have some of those strewn throughout the area. And I found these here, which are great, from like some kind of a space set. And I had them painted up. If you've played the game, you know that the Dwemer Ruins, the beds are like made out of rock with like just some bronze edging and stuff to them, and so are the chairs and sofas, or whatever you want to call them, that they have. So I had these painted up to match that. And the same with the tables. They're just made out of like rock with like a bronze going around it. And then I just put this here. I can't remember where I got that piece from, but it makes a perfect like enchanter's table. If for those of you who played the game, you know what those things are for. And then of course I just grabbed all kinds of different clockwork type minis, automation type minis, and just had them bronzed up, changed so that they would be more like what the Dwemer actually used, because all their technology has a similar look and feel and style to it for the whole technology. So I've got these guys all bronzed up, so that they're these giant, like, I don't know, big pounder type guys that anybody that comes in the way, they'll I think they're called guardians in Skyrim. So I've got all those in there. And then also in here, like, I've got some monsters I just threw in, and these guys here just happen to have some gold armor on them. So there's like bugbears and orcs or whatever it is. So I threw a couple of them in there. Like, there's monsters that are also raiding through the ruins. And as they find discarded weapons or armor, they themselves are also picking it up and using it. In this room here, they often have little books that are on stands in Skyrim and stuff. So I've got several of them sitting around in this little torchlight thing. And of course, there's more vents and stuff going on around the area. And there's this doorway right here, which has to be opened. And then there's all these flame traps, which are common in the Dwemer Ruins. Flame traps that would have to be navigated before you get to the pile of treasure that's there at the end. So stuff like that. In this area over here, I try to do the Charis. I think that's how it's pronounced. They're essentially giant insects-like thing, and these are a close approximation. They come from Dwarven Forge. I can't remember which Kickstarter it was, to be honest with you, but you can get them retail now at this point, as long as they have them in stock. So there's those guys right there, and they make good Charis for the meantime. Grabbed some spider-webbed eggs and stuff and threw it around there, some bones for all the victims and stuff. And then these guys right here, I try to make it like it's Dwemer technology that the Char have taken over, and like they're using it to grow an egg sac of some kind, and they're literally spawning their young from inside of the Dwarven technology. Of course, I've got some webbed up victims and stuff for the players to potentially rescue or take whatever they find off the bodies of the fallen. And in this area here, I tried to have an NPC party. This one right here is, again, it's just more adventurers basically that are going through the ruins who've already found some Dwemer stuff, and so they're kind of dressed up in that sort of regalia. At least a few of them are, and they're camped out in this small area, and they've got their own little fire, and they're sitting next to the technology and some of the gold that they've found, and just guarding this particular area and planning whatever their next move would be. And in this particular instance, these stairs come up to this other level that the players would have to then go through these non-player characters and work their way up here. Then there's again, there's a little lever there that opens this metal gate, and then there's another small room, and they'll be able to see out through the windows to the area down below. That's a common feature in the Dwemer Ruins, is there's multiple levels that you can see one level up and down from the other. That's just the way their ruins tend to be designed. So I have that area so that like that, so people can see out of it. There's another area on from the second floor and third floor. Here you can see again, there's a bunch of windows, Dwarven Forge type windows that they can look out of, and they can see what's going on in the levels below. They can see, oh look, there's some Falmer down there. But anyways, once the players make it up to this section here, then when they open this door, they're going to find that the bridge has dropped off, and there's basically an island surrounded by lava. This isn't really Dwemer stuff lore, but I just thought it would look really cool that their stuff has to be powered by something, so the heat source is some kind of like underground volcano, and there's a piece of technology where there was a bridge that used to go to, but it's been fallen off in all this time. I homebrew the hell out of stuff. So, and some of the Dwemer apparently didn't disappear, but when they were trapped in this room, when whatever the mysterious event happened and the Dwemer disappeared, they were affected. I'm just using Azar, I think that's how it's pronounced, or Azar minis for the Dwemer who have been turned into these like fire type beings that live in this area eternally now. And they just kind of guard the technology, even though it's long since stopped serving its purpose. They just don't know anything else, whatever the transformation that happened to them. So, but there's that important piece of technology there that you can have for that the players need to possibly get access to. Maybe it has soul stones in it or something that they might need. So that's just basically some of the ideas that I threw in here to try and bring a Dwemer Ruins itself to life. One of the big things that I did that's different about this is you'll notice there's a lot of multiple levels in this, and people who follow my builds know that I love to do verticality. But in this one, I tried a new approach, and boy, I gotta say, I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with how simple it is to do, and how effective. And all it is was I just got some XPS type foam, and just foam blocks. I think it's like 8 inches by 4 inches by 2 inches high, and I just got several blocks of them. Spray painted them a light gray because, of course, it comes white, which will stand out like crazy. But this is kind of the back side. I mean, there's the players wouldn't see this side of it; they'd be coming from the other side. But all that does by spray painting it a little bit of gray is it stops the white from jumping out and being too distracting to the eye. It probably needs another coat to the stuff, and all I did was stack the stuff up. It's pretty damn cheap. Stack the stuff up, and then I can throw the Dwarven Forge on top of it in order to create multiple levels. And with it being exactly 2 inches high, it's perfect for the Dwarven Forge stuff, the tiles, to lean up against it, and it covers it. So you don't have to buy all the expensive elevation blocks or anything like that in order to build up these multiple areas. I'm just using the XPS foam, and that really does it for me. It creates the effect of having, you can see this is a second floor up here. There's another second floor on this one. And then there's a second floor here in the middle, and a second floor and a third floor coming down. I forgot to put the stairs. I should have some stairs there, my bad. DM fail, epic DM fail. But there's a second and a third floor there. And then some of the stuff I have, it's literally just for the immersion, just like it is in Skyrim. There's certain areas, like there's some towers you can't actually get to. You can see them, but there's no way to get to them. And so I just kind of put some extra towers around, 2 of them there, and another one here, simply to create that feeling of being within the Dwemer Ruins themselves. And then there's another one here that I actually have the stairs. Of course, the stairs are, of course, perfectly curved in order to be able to go up around, because they're both made by Dwarven Forge. The circular, the rounded edge corners stacked in groups of 4 obviously make a perfect circle, and it's the same circumference basically, or the same curve rate as the stairs. So I just stacked 2 sets of stairs, one on top of each other, and then I used some standing blocks in order to raise for the second level to go up to the top floor. And ironically, again, it's just crazy, from Games Workshop, who has nothing to do with Dwarven Forge, the angle for this particular piece to have these metal pipes or whatever to go in was just absolutely perfect. So I'm like, oh, the heck with it. I'm just going to put it in there, and just adds to the effect. It gives that feeling of like it is in the game itself. So that's it. That is my attempt at Dwemer Ruins within Dwarven Forge and 3D prints and Games Workshop and any other hack thing that I could find to try and bring it to life. Dwemer Ruins. If you guys play Skyrim at all, or if you haven't, I highly recommend you give it a try. If you're into video games at all and you like swords and sorcery and stuff, so it's a wonderful game. That being said, anybody who's experienced Skyrim, let me know what you think about my attempt for Dwemer Ruins. Always look forward to your comments. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next adventure. Thanks for watching, guys. You guys take care.